So for our students, we have to make it real. If what we're going to ask them to do is go out and spend time with customers and prototype things, we want it to feel real. So the project partners make that happen. So an example is if we're working, let's go back to the pump examples for farmers in Myanmar. We have a project partner called IDE and a couple others that we've been working on over the years, but International Development Enterprises is a nonprofit, been around for 20 years. Or in our boot camp class, we'll work with New York Public Radio, WNYC. Regardless of whatever the challenge is, you have someone, a partner who makes it real for the students. For the most part, we've worked with companies a lot of different ways. We've worked with them in some exec ed capacity. If they're asking the question, how can we as a culture become more innovative? We've worked with them primarily as a partner with our students to help our students become more innovative. And for us, that's the most important. So what that means for us is we look for companies who share that passion, sort of the valuing the student experience, giving the students opportunity to define what is important in the first place, and access to their customers, to their employees, to their organizational structure, to the manufacturing plants. We worked with Timbuktu, which is a custom bag manufacturer in San Francisco. So the students got, I think one of the student teams was redesigning their all hands meeting. That's like a business process. And so the students went up into the city and observed and talked to people during the meeting of how that meeting went. Then they came down and ran some prototypes and tried them in the all hands meeting. And so the companies need to partner with us to share the value of supporting the students and give them access to their businesses and a willingness to try things out. When the students have prototypes, they're just going to run it live in their organization. And we found that two things happen. One, our students leave with higher learning, and two, the partners leave with stronger relationships with the students who might be their future innovators in their organization. And two, a rub off on this process. We've had folks fly out from the East Coast, spend a time coaching our students, and then fly back and say, my goodness, if I need to get my executive team to work in this way, like I saw the students work, and they change the way they hold their next meeting. And so all of a sudden it starts to have this rippling effect of the way they do their day-to-day work back in the organization. Leadership is a broad word. I will generalize and give a stereotype. I think a lot of people, when they hear the word leadership, they think leader, and they think of an organization that looks like this. Hierarchical, and that this person has all the answers, and sort of runs how things work. For us, what we like to propose for the students is to challenge them to have more of a collaborative leadership style. So when you're working on teams, there might be one person who feels, or two people who feel a little more responsible for the project. But you don't know where your big ideas are going to come from, either in what you're working on or how you're working. So we want to challenge the students, to anyone on the team, to feel empowered to contribute ideas, solutions, and new ideas of process of how they work. And so leadership, effectively, for us, moves around to whoever has the appropriate expertise at the time. If you're working on a project and where you are in the phase is we need to go out in the world and have empathy for people, then the person on the team who's sort of the social scientist who knows how to go and engage people and what questions to ask and what to look for is the one who's leading the team. If you've got your insights and you're trying to prototype the next big business model, then the person who's leading the group at that time is the student who has that expertise. But everyone's along the way. That's sort of a new type of experience for a lot of our students, is to be comfortable moving that leadership around. I think it's new. I think our dream is in 30 years, you look around and you'll see many D.schools.
You're talking in this time frame, 30 years?
10 years, 5 years. The movement is already happening. We're seeing a number of universities who are launching similar programs. And in reality, it's what made all this happen?
Yeah.
It's not out of the blue. It's been happening over 40 years. When you think of even Stanford's history, or even longer, right? I'll just speak from Stanford's history. So 1958, I believe it was, a long time ago, we started the design division, which ended up being the product design program. And it was multidisciplinary between the mechanical engineering department and art department. And I'm an alum of that program. A lot of the current design thinkers have been alum of similar programs. And there are many programs at other universities that bridge either technology and humans and art or technology and business. So there are a lot of these precursors. And for us here, this product design program, while we were designing things in a machine shop, it was ultimately teaching us something deeper, and that is this way of thinking. And so this movement to recognizing that this philosophy is relevant to more than just designing products has been unfolding over many, many years. And there are a lot of other programs that have at their roots similar philosophies. But the shift to recognizing its general application across disciplines to a range of different challenges, I think we're finding that it's just happening. The number of companies in just about every industry, countries, other universities who are starting to resonate with this way of working is rapidly increasing. That's very exciting for us. And we believe that it's going to take a lot of organizations like this to codify it and advance this new discipline.